I'm sure they.
Hey,
Hello.
I keep looking at this surplus sheet and I keep getting excited for things, and then Sam goes, "It's sold." And I'm like, I have to filter and make sure things are unchecked because there are some great an iMac or the Mac laptop for like $100.
I know. We sold those to other charter schools,
For-
so
No,
they
it's great, but I'm like, whoa, easy.
I know.
It's great.
Is there
Well,
is
in
there
part, go ahead.
is there a limit to how much you're allowed to charge for those?
I had to make up the prices, and so part of it was a combination of like searching government auction websites, trying to look at like what other schools have surplused
Sure.
stuff for, and then ultimately also just like we really need everything gone by July 15th or June 30th. So, and
It's
we're
big
going
for fair market value.
to
Yeah.
like the cost of rent or the cost of this or that versus trying to keep prices higher on items is
Hmm.
also a calculation, right? So, it was a little bit of a game that I had to play in April.
Right,
That was one of my new projects that I've never done before. Not on this scale, certainly either, right? Like,
for sure. Oh my gosh.
well,
Well,
I'm going to bring home the speaker and the tables and the two chairs, regardless of what happens today.
sure. Yeah, because we'll even if we can't
Even you
get
can't
the
like make
PLBRA, then like we'll do it, like Sam and I.
oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can just buy it ourselves and donate it and get reimbursed is one option once it is
Yeah,
approved or not get reimbursed. I don't care. It's
for
not that
sure.
much money.
Oh, I really don't mind just doing that today, actually.
I'm
If can't.
I'm not quite ready to take payment next week. End of next week is better,
Oh, for
but
sure. Whenever your schedule, like when it works for you, it'll work for
we pay
us.
on Give Butter, so that's the easy part. But we're just not ready to start reconciling what's been paid until next Wednesday. So,
Mm.
um, but like if I were you guys, like I said, I would buy that speaker myself, and then it's not the property of PLBRA. But
Yeah, that would be
if
exciting.
I wasn't moving, I would have bought it myself because then I could have used it for this and for Kiwanis whenever
Yeah,
I wanted to, right? Like,
seriously. So fun. Well, let's see how tonight goes, because
yeah.
okay, well, it's 7, so I will start letting people in, except for this note taker. I just remove him before I even admit people.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, all. Happy almost Friday. Almost to the end of the week.
Yes.
Colonel, Toby, so nice seeing you.
Hello,
Betsy, hello.
everybody.
You too, Ashley. I was muted.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Bob.
Give me 1 minute.
You're on forum, so
Yeah, I'm not expecting Dan. I'm not expecting Holly.
Holly's not on the board.
Oh, that's also true.
Holly's not. Oh, she's not?
No.
Right.
Is that
Um,
recent?
no.
Oh, because
Uh, she,
I gave her something, a letter last time to present about the mold and stuff. I thought,
she's an officer. She's not a board member.
She has the
oh,
same status as Sam.
okay. Oh, okay.
Just give me 1 second. I'm looking for a link with our agenda so I can. There it is.
And I have an addition at the top, and I will put the link to the agenda in the chat right now. I was just trying to catch myself up with a request from Walter for our consideration.
Okay. One, two, three. 4 and 5. Yes, okay. Yep, we do in fact have quorum. All right. Um,
Okay, so if we look at the slightly adjusted agenda, which is now in the chat, that would be item 1F, Bob.
oh, okay.
Walter has asked to either take a 6-month leave of absence if that is permissible, or he is going to resign with the hopes that we will reappoint him when he returns from England in November.
Okay. Um, okay. Um,
Can we, the easiest way is to approve the request for the leave of absence.
yeah, I got to think. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that there's any such thing really as a leave of absence. The only difference, really, his absence makes, uh, is that it would, if he resigns, it would drop the number for a quorum from 5 to 4. I don't see that as all that urgent.
It is urgent. There was a good chance we weren't going to have quorum tonight.
There was a good chance we weren't going to get to 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But wouldn't a leave of absence also drop the quorum?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure there's really any such thing as a quote unquote leave of absence. But I mean,
I mean, we met it for tonight. So if you want to look into the bylaws and report back.
yeah, let's figure it out. Let's take some time to figure it out since it's not an issue for tonight. Okay. Um,
Okay.
all right. So, we need a motion to approve the minutes, no?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor, let me know. That seems to be all of us. Next, update from Nicole about um management changes in corporate landlord dilemma.
Yeah. Maybe dilemma is not the right word, though. We're certainly in a dilemma with the lack of concern by Prime Group as to our quality of lives. So just an update for everybody, and in case you haven't seen the chatter, Stacy, who was the highest ranking Prime Group official working at Park La Brea local management structure, is no longer employed at Park La Brea, and she will not be back. Additionally, 36-year veteran, long time, mostly
Sylvie.
consistently well-intended member of administration, Sylvie, retired on Saturday. Interestingly, she is still a resident at Park La Brea and is now one of us, so to speak, with no perks or privileges that come with the employee discount or anything else that, that she has benefited from over the last 36 years. So, structurally, that's a major shakeup happening within, a 45-day departure of each other. Stacy's boss, Selena, is now in charge, at least temporarily, because her job title and arguably her pay grade would be too high, for the job. And Sylvie's job is being split between a total of 3 employees, which says a lot. But the lead person taking over for Sylvie, who will become our primary Sylvie-like contact, is Jessica. So I'll put these names in the minutes here in a minute. Sylvie did introduce me to Jessica before she left so that we could be known in terms of our theater reservations or movie nights or poster on the kiosk, whatever those types of Sylvie level things are. So the first part about this kind of current issue is just the catastrophic level of change that has occurred. And then if we couple this with two other now known facts, we get to the problem that I'm calling the corporate landlord dilemma. Though it should be no surprise to any of us, morale amongst those working in administration is at an all-time low. And not necessarily because of the news story. In fact, I want to be careful about how I phrase things. Some employees were relieved and grateful for the news stories because they were feeling unrespected and unheard by Prime Group and exhausted at being expected to try to make miracles happen on a daily basis, under those limiting parameters. But because morale is at an all-time low, absenteeism is high. And when people are absent, they don't do their work. And then the to-do list just grows and grows and grows and grows. Additionally, what I'm also now I'm not going to name my sources, but I was able to confirm behind the scenes what we also have been suspecting, which is that Prime Group is under budgeting all of the vendors that they are hiring to do all of the work on this property. So they're awarding such low contract dollar values that the work that needs to be done on a property that is 70 years old cannot be maintained. And then they are certainly not budgeting to allow for proactive and preventative maintenance. They're only doing reactive maintenance, which is the most expensive facilities management strategy that you can deploy. So it's completely self-perpetuating disaster. And then because they are underfunding all of those vendors, the vendors are also not staffing at the appropriate levels for the actual volumes of work that they need to do. So one other piece that was explicitly confirmed, which brought relief to the employees here in Joy, is that this community's collective efforts to get the news media to cover what was happening here forced Prime Group's hand to at least temporarily increase the funding to ABM, which is why they've been able to work on clearing the backlog of work orders and tickets that went unserved. That is still not going to get us out of reactive and into preventive and proactive maintenance. Let me be clear. But Prime Group had to pony up some money. So this confirms what we've suspected, which is that they're just in it for the money. They're taking all of our rent and reaping as much profit as possible and underfunding the local administration and management and vendors that need to do the work. So I say this both to make everybody aware, but also to offer that we need to change part of our tactic. We talk a lot about Prime Group, but we don't ever go after Prime Group. We always put all of the pressure on the local management to make change. And it's Prime Group that's dictating. And if you listen to local management talk about themselves, they refer to themselves as administration. They do not even refer to themselves as management because they don't actually have any decision-making authority. So when the block that had the asbestos was told to move out and use your own renter's insurance, that came from Prime Group, and they forced the local employees to make those phone calls. And it wasn't until the sum total of the office said, everybody's mutinying on us, that they changed their decision and agreed to relocate our neighbors at their own dollar. So while I think we still, of course, continue to collaborate and partner and work with the local administration management, I think our letters, our demands, our tactics, who we ask KDR Slosky to call, right? Like I think that needs to go to Prime Group, and whoever is the person at Prime Group that is assigned to Park La Brea management. So that's an
That would be
offering.
Selena. That would be Selena.
It's above her
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about above her because she has, I don't want to go too far with what I can say
Okay.
without damaging relationships, but she is very happy that we now have some increased maintenance funding, at least for now. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So that's my report. However depressing that might be.
Thank you. All right. Um, Next, uh, list of new items for the community room. How can we move it all? Whose item is that?
Actually, do you mind so that I can get caught up on the
Yeah.
minute?
So Sylvie so kindly on her very last day told Nicole and I that there was a vacant room from a previous organization who just like left all their things in one of these um lobby what is it called, like office rooms, if you will, in one of the towers. And they just left a bunch of chairs, workbooks, funny enough, a bingo set, which I'll bring up later in my VP report, and a bunch of other things that could be useful for either future events, office needs, things like that. Some really nice, like black cushion chairs. And so I actually have the key to that room right now. Sylvie had left that with us. And so anything that we would like from that room, we can transport over to the community room. And then once we're done with anything that we don't want, we'll just tell I guess uh
Just
Jessica, thank you. And then she'll just clear out the remainder of that room. But we do get dibs on what we would like there. I took a few photos. There are some really nice, again, black like cushion chairs for people to sit on. Toby, I have a photo. There's a bunch of like wellness books as well that are like workbooks. I figured you might like them. Maybe we can do an event there. And so I think the plan would be to schedule maybe like a Friday afternoon or a weekend. And Sam and I will kind of like just carry stuff over. So if anyone would like to come, we can kind of coordinate offline. It's not too much, and it's just from the tower that has the current equipment is by Curson Square. And so we just have to get that over to the community room, which is more on the Burnside Circle side.
Ashley, I don't know if the community room wasn't cleared. We never got the report about the air. And I was waiting to hear back from Holly before I moved forward with that. And I gave her a letter and she said she knows who to give it to be able to get the results. And I haven't heard from her. So I don't know that the community room is safe yet.
As far as I know, Prime Group is not going to be willing to share the testing results with us.
Exactly. And that was going to be a part of my discussion as well later on. If Bob, if you're okay with having the discussion right now, since it relates to this, I'm wondering if we purchase maybe a dehumidifier or maybe even just test strips ourselves. And
I've got a bunch of air purifiers for $10.
Yeah, but
cold.
I think it's more serious than just
I'm
freshening the
kidding.
air.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
No, right.
I
But they
think
did
they
take out the
painted over
wall.
the mold. They painted
Yeah.
over it.
No, they took out the wall completely.
Okay.
Yes. And so they took out that section of the wall. But yes, again, want to make sure that we do have this wonderful space, but where we want it to be safe and welcoming. But again, I don't think that they're ever going to share those mold. Um,
Wait,
res-
Bob, is
Not
that
not
legal?
not voluntarily. Currently it looks like it is. That makes the solution political rather than legal. I'll be working on that.
Are you okay? It's just I was gonna look
An
around
attorney
it.
would have to subpoena it.
Pardon me?
An attorney would have to subpoena those records.
Which would require an active lawsuit, and I don't see any basis for one at the moment.
I have a lawsuit. I am the one that had the buckled floor since the 2nd of February,
Right.
and the showering at the pool and calling the health department. The health department came to my unit 3 times, the LA Housing Department twice. They were cited and did nothing. And I am suing them.
Let me jump in. The issue is that this would need to be a lawsuit that involves specifically the community room in order to get those test results. And I'm guessing your lawsuit doesn't involve that specific room.
No.
Yeah. So I don't think that there's a
Robert, I have a question. I just wanted to ask. It's a little off the topic for a moment. Has anybody that has had needed to have mold remediation or any problems, has anybody been told or sent a letter by Park La Brea telling them to use their renter's insurance and go find somewhere else to live?
there were significant issues about that, and that's one of the things that I can talk about in my report.
I'd like that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Ashley, have you completed your item?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. I do not see anybody
Sorry,
here.
no,
Oh.
we didn't decide how we're going to move the things, which was the
Oh.
question that Ashley asked.
Sorry.
Or
Yes.
the conversation got waylaid.
So, are we okay with Sam and I moving the couches to live in the community room? I think that's my first question.
As soon as
I
it's cleared for safety. I mean,
well,
Or
no, I mean,
we could live in our office for now.
there's two separate issues, Toby. One is whether the place is safe for more quote unquote long-term exposure. The other issue is whether it's safe to just move stuff in and then get back out.
I see. Okay.
Our
Then
office
for-
next door was never impacted by the mold. It is very, very, very large and mostly empty.
Okay.
Then let's do that. We will move the items that we would like to keep to the office space. And then Sam and I are willing to kind of just put things into the back of our big truck and just carry things over. If anyone would like to come, just message me and we'll figure out a weekend. Shouldn't take more, honestly, than an hour, like 1 hour tops, because there isn't that many items. It's still a small room. So just let me know.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on. I do not see any government representatives here today. So we'll move on to committee updates. Community Senior Services Committee.
Okay, so that was a little bit on hold because I was waiting to hear if the room was going to be available, and if not, I mean, what might be another venue. The place that they're giving us all the things that Ashley was going to go get, is that usable in case?
Toby, first and foremost, use our office. I don't know why that hasn't been happening since we got insurance. Our office just sits there and it's massive.
So it's not because the community room is separate than the office.
Correct.
Is the office the one with the couch that Shelley brought? That's the community room, right?
Oh, that's the community room.
Okay. I have to visualize the office. Oh, that's great.
And the room that we're vacating is the former Jewish Family Services space. Toby, you know that space. It is not usable at this time. The door had not been opened in 5 years.
Oh no.
So everything we do take is going to have to be cleaned because it's dusty.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't want to be in there. And our insurance is not explicitly covering that space. So that would put us at a risk management. But our office would be appropriate.
Oh, great. Thank you. So we will reconvene and start the planning again.
All right. Technology and operations. Is Jordan here?
I am actually going to screen share. Jordan was unable to make it tonight. He did have a family obligation.
Okay.
However, he did share, he's a great person to be on the technology team. He did share a website update via a recorded video. So if you don't mind while I
Oh,
share this, I know how fun. Let me just quickly go ahead and I am going to share sound. Got to click that button. Okay, hopefully you all are able to see this, and in one moment this should play.
Sorry I wasn't able to make the meeting. A bit of an unexpected family situation came up. My sister was attacked by her cat, so I've been helping her deal with that. I still wanted to share a quick update on the website and what the latest performance data is showing. Overall, the website is still doing its job. Fewer people visited during this period, but the people who did visit stayed longer and took more action. That tells us the website improvements are helping make the site more useful. Most people are finding the website through search engines like Google. That is a good sign because it means people can find PLBRA when they are looking for information. The opportunity now is to strengthen the other ways people find us, like email, social media, and shared links. This shows that residents are using the website when they need help or information. The contact page is getting a lot of visits, and the chat widget continues to receive messages from people looking for help with PLBRA issues. The opportunity is to track those actions more clearly so we can better understand what residents need most. The website has a strong foundation, and people are finding it. The next step is not to rebuild everything, but to make the most important actions easier to find. That means better tracking, a clearer contact page, an easier membership path, and keeping our Google search visibility strong.
Awesome.
damn.
And that is, I know, great. He's on the right committee. But that is the latest from the Technology and Operations Committee. Just further work on the website, making sure it has accurate information, that it's accessible for all, and information is easy to find.
In particular, have we updated contact information for not us, but for administration, given what we've learned?
Sure, I'll follow up with him. I
Okay.
did like a whole checklist of pages to
Yeah.
update, so I'll just I don't want to misspeak, so I'll check with him.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Moving on. Security and safety. Is anybody here who can speak to that? Okay,
Looks like
moving on. Events committee.
So, I didn't get to come to our last meeting, so I just wanted to quickly say thank you to everybody that showed up and helped day of for our elections information forum. And you know, we can continue to be proud of those events and simultaneously wish for better turnout those events. We had talked about doing a wellness fair in October, which would be the next, you know, large scale event that we could look to host. But I do want to name that there is more than a 50% chance that I will not live in Park La Brea by October. Maybe it's a 60-40 chance. I'm not quite sure, but I have finished my doctorate. I'm merging my school district, as some of you know, and I'm job hunting statewide. And so far, zero of my interviews have been in LA County. So remains to be seen what will happen. I don't have to accept a new position until March of next year. But if the right opportunity comes, of course, I'm going to take it. And so I just also want to take this moment to plant the seed that somebody might need to take over as our events chair if I move.
Wow. Um, you will be, of course, very sorely missed. Um, in many, many capacities. Thank you, Nicole. Member and Community Engagement Committee, I guess that's me. I don't know, that's fundraising strategy. Member and Community Engagement. I guess that's also me. Um, but honestly, I think that look, I'm still trying to connect with the independent group. I think they've done a great job in um organizing a whole bunch of people that we could do a lot of good for working together. Um, Outreach has not been particularly successful yet, but I am persistent, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Fundraising and Strategy Committee. There are some major bills coming up, which I'll be talking about in my report. Um, if things go the way I hope they go in city council, then we will have very, very tangible pocketbook accomplishments to tout to our residents. And if that is the case, then I think that will be a very good idea to go back to our residents for both a membership drive and also a fundraising drive. Basically, this is what we can accomplish for you. Here, you're going to see it right there on your bill if it pans out. So that's my current thinking on the fundraising slash membership front. Moving on. Uh, Movies, Henry.
Hello, everyone. I now will have a lot more free time in this coming months, so I decided to plan two movies for the month. We're gonna do The Emperor's New Groove next Thursday on June 11th, and on June 25th, we're gonna do The Grand Budapest Hotel. And I didn't plan this, but I realized they have pretty similar plot lines. They're both about like an elderly father figure taking a younger man-child around and getting chased by a vicious diva Nazi. So it's I think a very relevant and good movies. Um, but they are also very funny and colorful and exciting. So I hope you come by.
Thank you, Henry. Okay. Uh, Toby, the answer to your question is yes.
Oh, great.
Um, Moving on, my report. Before I get to the agendized items, I think there is something that very much needs to be said about, and I want to talk about our endorsed candidates, one of them in particular. Um, Running for office is really, really hard under the best of circumstances. And running for office against an incumbent is even harder. It takes
I
guts, it takes perseverance, it takes strength, it takes courage, it takes determination. One of our endorsed candidates, of course, was Henry Mantel, and he did all of that because he saw a need, he saw an issue that he thought needed to be brought to the community's attention, needed to be campaigned on, and he decided to take that on himself. And although his campaign did not prevail, I think it is fair to say that Henry's campaign did bring that issue out front. And so I just want to say that I think that I speak for absolutely everybody on this board when I say that we are each and every one of us very proud to be serving side by side with you on this board, Henry.
Bob, you stole my agenda item. So
Look,
let me also just say, Henry, that the social studies teacher in me would say, first of all, good on you, right? It is the ultimate of civic engagement to take the risk and the sacrifice and the time and the love and the passion and the hope for a better neighborhood that you poured into your campaign. And that is what little d democracy and civic participation is about, that every high school social studies teacher hopes that they instill in their students, irrespective of political ideology or parties, right? Like you made us all proud as civic participants. But I would also say, as a political wonk, that your campaign, while you might not have won on this primary ballot, it was insanely successful. It was grassroots, it was authentic. The percentage of the vote share that you pulled as a first time candidate is remarkable. And I'm filled with nothing but pride. And I want this to be your first campaign of many, and not your last. And you're too tired to think that's a good idea today. But I see a bright future for you, Henry, whether I live here to vote for you or not. And I encourage you to rest up and recharge, and then think about where you're going to go next.
all right. Resuming my report. Um, Property canvassing. I have in fact identified an attorney who is willing to look at the issue. He owes me a report. It's Josh Nooney, who used to work for Nithya's office. Um, he's going to look at the issue and see if he thinks that there's some there. He'll get back to me. Told me that I could follow up with him in about a week and a half from now, 2 weeks from our conversation, which was at the beginning of this week. So a week and a half from now. So I expect to have a substantive report on his conclusions at our next meeting. Um, Utility pass-through transparency. Actually, there has been a development today. Hang on one second. Just admitting. So where's my? There it is. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. So there's been a development today. The debt collective and the other tenant groups that are getting involved in this issue with us have basically pushed out a broad request, which I'd like us, by the way, to share. Holly shared it with the board. I'd like us to get an email out to our email list. They are asking for three things, three changes in the current report. The change that is of particular interest to Park La Brea as a rent-controlled unit. The housing department's recommendation is to give management, is to give landlords a one-time rent increase to make up for the loss of utility income that they will no longer be able to pass through based on trailing 12-month average. The debt collective's recommendation, which we have already signed on to, is no, they don't need it. They don't deserve it. They shouldn't get it. I have meetings scheduled. I have a meeting scheduled next week with Bob Blumenfield's office. Bob Blumenfield is on the housing committee. I have reached out to Nithya's office. Nithya chairs the housing committee, and I expect that meeting to happen next week. And I have reached out to Katie's office to get on her agenda as well. I haven't heard back from her yet, but this outreach was quite recent, so I have every expectation that that meeting will happen as well. So as far as I'm concerned, this is pedal to the metal time. The goal, if we succeed in pulling this off, it will mean an outright decrease in money out of pocket for each and every one of our residents, because we will no longer have to pay utility bills. Actually, not for each and every one. Some of our oldest residents already don't have to pay utility bills, but almost all of us do. And this uh, this would save, I don't know what, 50 to $100 a month. So hopefully that is a deliverable that we will be able to accomplish after, what is it now, 4 years of work. It will be a very tangible success if it comes to pass, that we will be able to tout to our residents. So that's my hope.
Bob, it sounds like small potatoes when compared to possibly not having to pay for water at all. But I wanted to flag for everybody that I noticed this weekend when I was paying my rent for June that my water bill has gone up by $10 with no explanation this month. And this is how the mischarging happened at this exact same time in 2025. It also began around the summer month of 2025 when all of a sudden we were being charged $10, $20 more per month. So I think we should draft some type of question to pose to Selena to ask her to confirm and inquire, because as I'm seeing in the chat, I'm not the only person who all of a sudden paid $10 extra in June.
So
we don't want 6 months to go by again.
Right. So I've actually got information on that. Park La Brea has made their position very clear, and I've got it in writing from them. What they have said is that the quote unquote the real page community does not permit them to share the underlying utility bills. As far as I'm concerned, that explanation is complete bullshit. RealPage is their agent, not their principal. It ain't their call to make.
No, Bob,
They're hiding behind RealPage, but they're not going to do it. It's the fun. They're not going to share the information.
that's not what I meant.
Okay,
Last June, when our water bills went up
Mhm.
and we all questioned, hey,
Right.
our water bill just went up, they blamed LADWP utility rate changes. And then 7 months later, they apologized and gave us a refund for a miscalculation error. What I was suggesting we do is to nudge Selena that the third
Uh,
party vendor that calculates the utilities might yet again be making another error. And could she look into it and confirm?
okay, that's easy enough to do.
Thanks.
And Sue Ellen, the answer to your question is that the way it works is our oldest residents signed leases that didn't require them to, our most longstanding residents, I should say, signed leases that didn't charge for utilities. So it all depends on what's in your lease. If you signed a lease that says you pay for utilities, then you pay for utilities. Some of our very most longstanding residents signed leases that didn't have that clause, and that's why they don't have to pay utilities. There aren't very many of them left. Because obviously, every time somebody moves out, the new lease does have them pay for utilities. All right, that is the conclusion of my report.
Awesome. Thanks, Bob.
Ashley.
Yep. Mine should be fairly quick as well. The first one is a bingo event. So as I mentioned earlier in that Jewish Family Services vacant room, there was a big bingo cage, if you will, with all the bingo balls in them. And I thought that would be such a fun like mini event to do before one of Henry's movie nights, just to increase attendance, and then kind of just be like a fun like mixer right before a movie. Because I think 30 minutes is probably fine for bingo. You can get at least 3 to 4 rounds out of that one. So Henry, if you're cool with maybe the June 25th movie night, if you don't mind me crashing for 30 minutes prior, and we can just do some bingo. And I apologize for not doing this correctly, but I would like to make a motion to purchase a bingo card and dauber set for attendees. The price, let me just double check, comes out to $39.99. So I move to be able to purchase a $40 bingo card and dauber set.
Let me suggest this, just, tax and stuff like that. So let me suggest a motion to expend an amount not to exceed $50 for that
Fantastic.
purpose. Is there a second to the motion? I saw Toby first. Any discussion? All those in favor, let me know. That's all of us.
Awesome. Thank you all. I think this will be a great opportunity to have like a little event. And again, all the fees and the membership donations, they're just going back to the residents with things like this for events and fun things back to them. So thank you all. So when I make your flyer, Henry, I'll just throw on a little bingo promo for that one as well. And just side note, I will get you those flyers by this weekend so you can post them for Jessica now instead of Sylvie. Next one is also another event, the virtual built Q&A event. There's been talks about this. My husband, Sam, has been so kind to help some residents recently as well via email, get them set up into built, or if they had built questions. We were thinking of doing a virtual built Q&A, just anyone who wants to drop in, ask questions. We could even do some breakout rooms with sensitive information, that we could make sure that they're in a private Zoom room, if you will. We were thinking of doing that on Sunday, 6/14 at 10 a.m. If anyone has any concerns about that time, or wants to propose a different time to do that, let me know. But I think that would be just another way to make sure that if people want to use Built and they have any questions, that someone who uses it quite regularly can assist with that. This would just use the Zoom room that we're on right now.
Just wanted to confirm that wasn't Father's Day.
No, well, that
It's
would
not.
be
It's not. It's
Sam.
not. it is not, but it is Donald Trump's birthday. Are you sure we should be doing something like that?
Oh, all the more reason. Okay. Moving on to my last one. Recap of meeting with Selena and team. Um, Bob and I, along with our fellow representatives from Katie's office, Michelle Flores and her team, met with Selena, Dora Magana, who runs our security, or excuse me, our patrol. And I believe Sylvie was there as well. We all met, and I just wanted to provide just some of the few key topics that we discussed. Of course, we spoke about just confusion with live communication. They've been sending out some communication that just does not make sense. For example, the one that I brought up was we received a 24-hour inspection notice posted on doors. Liv said there's Liv email work orders, and no one showed. And so, again, just want to make sure that they're aware that the communication needs to be strengthened, clearer. And I think there was one even recently that said rooftop work is happening. And that was at no dates. There was no time. And so again, just I'm going to just keep flagging where their communication can be stronger for residents. Um, we also discussed a resident survey that I did via social media accounts of things that the residents want back in our spaces, such as maybe a coffee bar, playground area, beer garden, if you will. But a lot of residents via the Facebook group want just a nice fountain back or something where they can hang out in their space. So I brought that to Selena's attention. Um, we also brought up again the residents reporting balances showing on built that are incorrect for 3 months. Residents get false zero balances, notices on the first. And so all the inaccurate billing information, we are bringing that to their attention. We just want to make sure that we're always raising that for awareness. Selena did say she was going to report back and look into that and make sure that updated resident messaging continues to go out. And then last but not least, I also just inquired about more speed bumps in Park La Brea. I think there's such an increase in cars speeding or even going down the wrong way within our community. And so I did mention that to Selena. I know that might not be the number one issue. Of course, maintenance is going to be an issue, mold remediation. But I also just think the safety. We can't ask people to drive slower. They're not going to listen to us. But I'm hoping that maybe even a few more speed bumps within the community will help people slow down. And that is, I think, the gist of my report. Bob, I'll pass it to you if there was anything pressing that you remember from that meeting that everyone here should remember, should know.
There wasn't anything there, but I did remember something that I meant to mention during my report.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Um, so we received a question in our general email box from one of our residents. And I've been corresponding with that resident. Henry's in the loop on that. I don't know if he's had the chance to see the emails. But the short version is that this resident was scheduled to be have their lease renewed June 1st. On May 12th, the resident received a notice of rent increase. That is fewer than 30 days before June 1st, which meant that Park La Brea wasn't allowed to do that. No problem, thinks Park La Brea. We'll just unilaterally and without your consent move your renewal date to June 27th. So now, presto, our notice is timely after all. They don't get to do that. So we are working with the resident we've connected the resident to Katie's office. We have connected the resident to the housing department. Keep an eye out for your annual rent increase notice. If they're late, do not concede the issue. That's what I wanted to add. Moving on to the treasurer's report.
Hi, everyone. So the first order is a revision to the last treasurer's report. At the time that it was compiled, we had not yet had a deposit from Give Butter. It was withdrawn, but was not yet deposited. My expectation was that it would post inside of May, like May 1st-ish. It actually landed April 30th. So this is to submit the revised figures, which include that $60 received from Give Butter related to member dues, which adjusts the net change for that month. And the starting and ending balances are given in the agenda with respect to that as well. And then this report is as normal and shows our ongoing operating expenses and the net change of $173.47 spent. And the last item is to put forward for a motion to purchase surplus equipment from Xterra Public Schools. Nicole has furnished a list of equipment. And there are a few items that we have used as an organization, specifically folding tables and folding chairs, as well as the speaker system that was used for the candidate forum and for other events. I've done uh, I've taken the opportunity to look up the speaker itself and find its sort of market price as new. And it's somewhere in the ballpark of $1,400. So the surplus offer price of 205 seems like a good deal even as a used item. But that's just my opinion. And Bob, I'll leave the rest of this part to you, I guess.
Sure. I move to allocate an amount not to exceed $250 to purchase surplus equipment from Xterra Public Schools. Is there a second?
I second.
It was Toby. Any discussion? All those in favor, let me know. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. That's all of us. All right. That motion passes. Sam, anything further from your report?
No, he has nothing further to report.
Thank you very much. Moving on. Secretary's report, Nicole.
As of a couple days ago, we were at 89 active members with 5 months completed in the school year. Bob, while we have not had like a large, significant rush of new members, I would say every month we pick up a couple new names. Where we lose ground is our renewal rate is very poor. So we take a staggering hit every January and then we slowly, tick back up throughout the year. So that would be
Okay.
something for the board to reflect on and think about. And that's with me making personalized email appeals and everything, right? Just that many people are not finding enough value to renew. So
Okay.
I think that's a point to be addressed before December.
All right.
Otherwise, I just wanted to flag as always, because I do not love meeting the first week of July. So many people are out of town. And I will again reiterate that I wish we could go dark in the month of July. As a board, many other entities do. But as of now, we have an in-person meeting on July 7th.
Yeah, particularly since we're gonna have, I think there are gonna be real decisions to be made in July. I don't think we can go dark in July this month, this year. We will likely have a decision to make once we know the results of the legal analysis we've requested. And it's going to be time sensitive because we need to get things moving in time to be effective so that our residents can actually participate in the electoral process this year.
Could we meet, and does it make a difference if we met July 14th? I don't know that with it being on the 7th, whereas in the past it's been like the 1st, the 3rd, and it's really
Yeah.
been.
I was thinking this. I mean, the board can. I can't do that on my own. That would have to be a board
Yeah.
vote. I think that the 7th. My guess is that the 7th is late enough that we should be okay. I'll certainly be in town.
I'm not going to be here for it. Just a heads up.
Toby, what about you?
The 14th would probably be a little bit better on my end, but I can probably do the other one.
Yeah.
So
I
depending
mean,
on what everybody wants.
yeah, I mean, one issue with the 14th is that I've been attending neighborhood council meetings lately as they have vacancies to try to get myself back on it. And so and the 14th would conflict with that meeting.
I can do the 7th then.
Ashley, can you do the 7th?
I can do but either.
Yeah. So if Henry can't attend, I
Then
just want to
Jordan?
flag that if the usual people are absent again, we will not have quorum. Bob.
Although hopefully we'll have Holly here.
Holly is
Oh,
not
that's
on
right.
the
Holly's not on the board. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. Um,
It's a problem.
it's a potential problem.
Raise again.
Although oh, Jordan, but we might have Jordan.
No idea.
Okay. All right. Anything further from your report, Nicole?
No.
All right. Thank you. Public comment. Does anybody in the audience have public comment they'd like to share?
Yeah, I would, Bob.
John?
Yeah, first thing is the elevators. As you know, Bob, the elevators are out in our building right now, both of them, and they put signs on all floors, so it doesn't look like it's going to be a temporary issue. As you know, Bob, living in 49, that these elevators are out at least once or twice a week, have been for years. They replace the elevators, and I think they work just as well before. It seems to be a chronic issue, something that, they keep fixing them, so there's something obviously inherently wrong with the elevators. I don't think any other building in Los Angeles has elevators go out twice a week. The issue is not really convenience, but it's more for emergencies. A lot of time the medical, fire people have to take people down in stretchers, and they're not going to be able to do that if these elevators are out. And this is a foreseeable thing. And I just think that the elevator problem should be attacked from a safety point as opposed to just a convenience thing. I don't know if this is related or not, but as you know, I sent an email to you about these electrical covers that were out just near the garage.
I passed your comment along to Selena.
Yeah, and then Nicole sent that along too. The covers were off in a haphazard way. One of them was covering the sidewalk. It didn't look like a worker would have done that. There was no workers around. I reported it to a bicycle patrol guy, and he said he was going to check it. Then I was out on my bike, and I saw the same guy, and I said, "Have you checked it yet?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." And I said, "Well, let's go look together." And he took a picture, and he reported it too. But if they steal the copper from here, God help us, it's going to be months before they put it in, because it's a really big deal. The copper thieves are active in the Mid-Wilshire area. And if anybody sees electrical covers off, please report them right away. Because if these thieves take and it could be related to this elevator. I hope it's not related to this elevator downage. It happened like last week. Which brings me to the next topic, and that is I'm seeing a lot of non-residents in Park La Brea. One man in particular, I saw, excuse the language, but he was puking his guts out on 3rd Street, right across from Pan Pacific, right across from right under the sign near the crosswalk, literally violently puking. Well, that same day that I saw the covers off, he was stumbling. He couldn't take 2 steps without pausing, so drunk. And he was walking down the basement to our building, Bob, Tower 49. I also reported that. But I'm kind of wondering, how does a guy who's so obviously drunk walk through this entire complex and not one of these patrol guys stop him? And he doesn't live here. And I guess and I don't know if this is relating to the stabbings that you're talking about, Nicole, but these guys, I see them drinking in Kherson Square in the morning with big tall beers, smoking and drinking. They don't live here. And I don't know if Park La Brea is open to the public, but I actually don't know the answer to that question, but I just think we have to be extra vigilant about non-residents coming in here and using the facilities, and entering the buildings. And I just don't think there's any excuse for allowing these people to be wandering around. So by the way, anybody else living in towers, are the elevators a problem in your towers? Or is it just Tower 49?
It's not just 49.
No.
So what is it? Does anybody know what the problem is? Why do elevators go out like once or twice a week? 49, there's always one down.
Because it's an 80-year-old building.
They replace these elevators. They replaced them like 5 years ago, Bob.
John, I think it goes back in part to my narrative in the beginning about preventative and proactive maintenance versus reactive maintenance would be one factor.
Yeah.
The second factor is that the trash vendor and residents force hold the doors open past the allowable time frame, and that causes a lot of damage. Those are two factors that I know to be true. I'm sure there are, I'm not an elevator maintenance person, but
I think there's a lot of buildings that are 80 years old in Los Angeles that do not have this problem. I don't think we should make excuses for them. I think we should hold their feet to the fire and make these elevators operable. It may come in handy if the fire people have to take you out on a stretcher.
What we're told, John, is that the law only requires them to keep one elevator operable, and generally they've been able to do that. If you're telling me that both elevators at Tower 49 are out, A, that's news to me, and B, I think that's the first time in my 8 years here that I've seen that.
Well, if one is going out once or twice a week, the chances of both of them going out are pretty high.
I'm saying I haven't actually seen that happen in
Are you
my
on
8
the
years
board?
here.
Well, I know, but
I'm not home yet. I'm at the office now.
There is something wrong with these elevators, and it could be a life and death situation. If somebody has a heart attack and they can't get them to the hospital, because they can't get them down from the 11th floor or something. I'm just putting it out there that they're both down, Bob. They put signs all up and down. It's not going to be a short problem. But by the way, does anybody know, is Park La Brea open to the public? Anybody wants to come in here and enjoy Cruson Park? Is that fair?
They take the position that it is. They take the position that it is not. There are some issues there about our access to the political world that complicate things.
I don't understand what that means.
They won't allow political canvassers. They won't allow political canvassers on property.
What about this?
That.
It is private property, John.
What about homeless people? Can homeless people come in here and drink beer?
No.
Okay, so if we see these people, we should report them.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
If they don't live here and they're not doing and they're not doing some kind of political activity, then
even if they live here, drinking public drunkenness would violate the decency guidelines in our leases, and you could be evicted.
That I can't speak to. Okay, is there any other public comment? Jacinta?
Yes, I did want to know, I did want to speak to you more about the letters that people that have complained about mold in their units, like me. At first in February, they were telling me verbally that I should use my renter's insurance and go find somewhere else to live. And then they actually put it in writing. And they let me know that they had no courtesy units available, or whatever they're called. And I listed places they could relocate me to. And they told me they don't do that. When I got an attorney, suddenly I was able to get into a temporary other unit. But it's very bad for my service dog. They put me on the 8th floor somewhere. I have a horrible fear of heights, and there are no screens on the window, and there's no blinds.
So Jacinta, all right. So this actually is an issue that the independent residents group dealt with quite a bit, and we got Katie's office involved. The short version is, to the extent that they're not doing what they're supposed to do, which is give you an alternative, the things to do are email two particular people at Katie's office and Stacy Schur at the city attorney's office, and also make a complaint with the housing department. Now, it sounds like once you got your lawyer involved, they suddenly did do what they're supposed to do. So I'm not sure that there's much left for the city to do.
Well, you know, according to federal law, I have a service dog. They have to accommodate my service dog.
Okay.
And I should be on, that's why I rented a townhouse, because so I could be on the ground floor and I could have a patio and it was easy to take my service dog in and out. And now I'm on the 8th floor. And as I said, I have a severe, well-documented fear of heights.
Okay.
And
So
it's,
just said that so the resource we have available for you, reach out to the housing department. Reach out to the housing department or have your attorney reach out to the housing department and copy Michelle Flores, Georgia Copiance, and Stacy Schur, all at lacity.org.
okay.
Bob,
Yeah.
it might be helpful, as most of the people here know, I helped write the original bylaws for PLBRA when we incorporated. And in the area of serving on the board, if you miss 3 consecutive meetings, you ought to be removed.
That's not quite accurate.
This was to avoid
that's not quite accurate, Colonel. What is accurate is that the board has the option to remove somebody who misses 3 consecutive meetings.
Quite right. Quite right. Option is correct. But I would think that you might want to consider giving this man some form of a leave of absence, because with that many missed meetings, it would be very awkward.
I
and
understand.
If you can give him some sort of a leave of absence, I think you should.
We're gonna look at it.
Yeah, because that's a long period of time. And the other thing, as you know, many of the people on the board may not, and the listeners, I'm affiliated through my house of worship with Federation in LA. And Tower 39, the lobby office room, was used by their life program until they lost funding from HHS. And that material that our vice president is talking about has been made available. That's how it got there originally, and they just never recovered it. And I think we should use it, as long as it's for a moral and proper purpose, which it is. That's it. Thank you, Bob.
Right. Thank you, Donald.
You're welcome.
All right. Is there any other public comment? I don't see any. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'm sorry, may I just say something? I see the message from Thomas about the California Post is delighted to cover this story. I never spoke to anybody from the California Post. I would be happy to.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Toby and Nicole.
Okay. That is not debatable. All those in favor, let me know. That's all of us. It's 8:05 and we are adjourned.
Have a great night, everyone.
Have a great night.
Could you please give me a call? I enclosed my number for you.
I got it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Wonderful. Thanks all.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.